Yo, what is going on, boys? Subtrist coming back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys great drop spots for arena and tournaments. And basically how this video is going to work is I'm going to be showing you guys great drop spots that I have found. And I'm also going to be giving you guys tips on how to find the right drop spot for you. And then the other part of the video, I'm going to be showing you guys drop spots that you shouldn't land at for reasons such as the loot, how it's set up, and how many players go there. If you guys haven't yet, be sure you guys smash that sub button down below, join the sub zeros. I'm trying to hit 10,000 before the end of the year, and all subs are greatly appreciated. But with all that being said, let's get right into the video. Okay, so starting off with my first recommended drop spot, I've talked about this a couple times in other videos, but this is Holly Hedges. The reason I like Holly Hedges so much is because there's so much loot in every single house. For one particular reason I like landing here is because of this house that I'm in right now. It actually has 3 potential chest spawns and a lot of floor loot inside to help you guys get set up for the early game. Right outside of the back, there's actually a whole bunch of wooden pallets that you can hit to get over 300 wood to start off your first fight. Not to forget the 2 other houses next to it. If someone lands there, they don't have as much of an advantage over you because those 2 houses only have 1 chest spawn in them, and you also have gas cans within the garage, so you can throw them out and blow up the house next to you, which can create a lot of pressure on your opponent when fighting them. A couple more advantages to landing here is zone usually pulls pretty close to Holly, and there's also plenty of cars to get rotation to come out of here. Not to mention the bot that spawns over in the back to give you a couple quests to get some easy gold. This POI actually totals out to over 20 different chest spawns and literally too many floor loot drops to count. And this makes a great drop for any solos, duos, or trios games in arena or tournaments. Also, I noticed when I landed here for Frosty Frenzy, only 1 to 2 trios ever came here with us. It's pretty low in population. It has great loot and also great rotation to get out of there. Okay, so the next drop spot I have for you guys is Slurpy Swamp. Now, this drop spot is a little bit more contested because of the loot it has there, and a lot of people are wanting to eliminate that RNG of finding shields off spawn because you can literally find shields just about everywhere on this POI. There's plenty of slurp canisters you can break to get 10 shields or health every time you break one. There's a couple slurp trucks nearby, and pretty much the whole river surrounding this POI can give you health every single second. This spot is filled with loot, so it honestly makes a great fit for any solo, duo, or trio who tries to land here. And once you can master this drop spot, it can make it even easier if it's contested during tournaments and arena games. And since metal is so scarce ever since the cars update, there's plenty of metal here to farm to max out because we all know how important hard mats are in late game situations. There's also wooden pallets on the far west side of the map, and if for whatever reason you don't max out your wood here, you can always go to the lumber yard where there are plenty of wood pallets to max out your wood fast. And another way to set yourself up late game here is there are plenty of fishing spots, so you have a pretty good chance of getting a rift fish to get an easy rotation for those late moving zones. If you guys do end up rotating over to the lumber yard, there's actually a bot that spawns there that has plenty of quests you guys can use to achieve more gold to buy better weapons. Now, this drop spot does only have 14 chest spawns here, but honestly, in my opinion, the floor loot and the fishing spots around this area honestly make up for the lack of chest spawns. And with a little practice landing here, you can come out of here with a huge advantage over all of your opponents who landed nearby. Now, this third drop spot I have for you guys is right over by Steamy Stacks. This is a small unmarked location, so it's probably not meant for duos or trios, but it's definitely a great solo spot. And the house I'm landing at right now actually has 3 potential chest spawns, and there's a chest spawn to the lower back half of the cliff. But what I do is I loot the first house and then push up to the house on the hill, so I can achieve high ground if anyone lands at the far house to the north side. And there's also plenty of fishing spots nearby here as well. And this is actually a pretty old spot. It's actually been here since the beginning of chapter 2. It hasn't left yet. It's a pretty low-key spot as well, but it's actually kind of growing in popularity ever since they added the NPC that will give you the Dragon's Breath sniper rifle if you have enough gold for it. But it's still in my top 5 list of places to drop. And with Epic dropping more cash cups pretty soon, this is going to be a great spot to land at because you're going to be really uncontested, and you can also clean up Steamy Stacks after you land here as well. The real only major downside to leaving here is that the zone will actually pull pretty far usually, but there's a couple cars down on the coast, and also you can take the vortex out of Steamy Stacks to get a little bit closer to zone. After totaling everything up, there's around 8 chest spawns here and around 7 fishing spots, which makes this a great low-key uncontested drop spot if you're a solo. Now this fourth drop spot I have for you guys has actually kind of been forgotten about ever since season 3 ended, and that is Caddy Corner. This is a great low-key drop spot with amazing loot and super uncontested. There's plenty of wooden pallets located throughout this POI to get you a bunch of wood, and also a few places to get a lot of metal here as well. On your way through rotating out, you can also farm up on brick, so you should be pretty set on mats once you guys leave this POI. And a huge plus to landing here is that Kit is actually back in the game as a friendly NPC. You can challenge him, and he'll give you a purple AK every single time if you win the challenge. This is definitely a spot for solos and duos, and maybe even a trio if it's more of a placement based tournament, because usually you end up getting zoned and there's a plethora of different POIs you can rotate to after you loot this place up. Also have the natural rotation of the river on your side when trying to rotate to a new POI as well. So when you're looking for a drop spot, there's a few things I want you guys to take into consideration when looking for one. The first one is how many players are going there. If you're landing at a place with a lot of players, that's going to put a lot more RNG into your game, making it a lot harder to come out of that drop spot. And if you're in a tournament where money's on the line, you don't want to land somewhere that's super congested. A lot of the newer, highly contested POIs really aren't worth it because they don't give you a lot of loot and the mats are pretty scarce there as well. Another thing to take into consideration is how good the optimal drop spot is. I've talked about optimal drop spots in some of my previous videos, so I'm going to leave one up at the top of the screen that you guys can go check out to learn a little bit more about what optimal drop spots are, because optimal drop spots come into play a lot, especially in duo and trio tournaments. And also, when you're looking for a drop spot, you want to have a drop spot for each type of game or tournament you're playing. For instance, if you're in a solo game, you want to look for a more low-key drop spot. And for duos and trios, you want to look at a little bit of a bigger drop spot since you have 2 more people to worry about on your team. And if you're going to be playing FNCS, it's actually going to be trios through all of 2021. So I would definitely look for some bigger drop spots if you're looking to play in any FNCS tournaments through the upcoming year. So going over a couple places where you shouldn't land when looking for a drop spot is somewhere like Salty Towers. Salty Towers is a really good place to land if you're just looking to W key and have fun. But if you're in a tournament or in an arena game, it really doesn't benefit you just because it's smack dab center of the map and there's a lot of different POIs where players are coming to rotate over to Salty Towers. So you're going to get third party there a lot, and the mats and loot there just really isn't worth it. You also shouldn't land at a lot of places that are unmarked on the map that are on the far edge, unless they have close rotation nearby, like the one I talked about close to Steamy Stacks. If literally no one goes there, it's probably because there's not enough loot there to compensate for even a solo player. So when you're looking for a drop spot, I would take all of these things into consideration because they are all very important, even as a solo, duo, and especially your trio, because a lot of times your drop spot can determine what is a win and what is a loss. Thank you guys all for stopping by and watching this video all the way until the end. I'm going to be trying to get more and more uploads going throughout the week. My goal is to have at least 2 uploads every single week, so be sure you guys smash that sub button down below. And also drop a like if you enjoyed. Again, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.